Most people think saving and investing are basically the same thing. You put money aside, you don't spend it, and somehow your future improves. It feels responsible. It feels mature. It feels like progress. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Confusing saving with investing is one of the biggest financial mistakes people make, and it quietly costs them years, sometimes decades, of potential growth. Because saving protects money, while investing grows money. And if you don't understand the difference clearly, you can work hard, stay disciplined, and still fall behind. If you want calm, realistic, no-hype financial education focused on long-term systems and wealth psychology, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below whether you currently prioritize saving or investing more. Yeah, because this decision truly changes everything. Let's begin with a mindset shift. Saving and investing are not interchangeable. They serve completely different purposes. Saving is about short-term stability. Investing is about long-term expansion. Saving is defensive. Investing is productive. And when you confuse their roles, your financial strategy becomes unbalanced without you even realizing it. Here's what most people misunderstand. Saving feels safer because the number never goes down, as long as you don't withdraw it. There's no volatility, no red days, no headlines triggering anxiety. That psychological comfort makes saving emotionally attractive. But comfort and progress are not the same thing. Saving is essential. You need liquidity. You need an emergency fund. You need cash for short-term goals and unexpected expenses. Without savings, even a small disruption can push you into debt. But once that short-term buffer is in place, continuing to prioritize saving over investing creates a hidden cost. That hidden cost is opportunity cost. When your money sits in a low-yield account for years, it may grow slightly, but often not enough to outpace inflation. The purchasing power of that money quietly erodes over time. You may see your balance increasing, but what that money can actually buy in the future may not increase at the same rate. This is where beginners go wrong. They focus on visible numbers, not real growth. Now pay attention to this part, because this is where the decision changes your financial life. If your long-term goal is financial independence, retirement security, or simply building meaningful wealth, saving alone will not get you there. And at some point, your money must move from protection mode to growth mode, and that shift requires clarity and discipline. Let's define the difference clearly. Saving preserves capital. Investing puts capital to work. When you invest, you are buying ownership in productive assets, businesses, markets, income-generating opportunities that have the potential to grow over time. That growth is not guaranteed year to year, but over long periods. Productive assets historically expand in value because economies expand, companies innovate, and productivity improves. The word that scares people away from investing is risk, and that fear is understandable. Investments fluctuate, markets decline, news cycles amplify uncertainty. But here's what most people misunderstand. Not investing carries risk too. Like the risk of falling behind, rising living costs, the risk of underfunded retirement, the risk of working far longer than you expected. The goal is not to eliminate risk. The goal is to manage risk intelligently. This is where beginners go wrong again. They operate in extremes. Either they keep too much in savings out of fear, delaying wealth building for years, or they invest aggressively without any financial cushion, leaving themselves vulnerable to forced withdrawals during downturns. Neither extreme is stable. Balance is the strategy. Let's talk about a practical system you can follow. First, build an emergency fund that covers essential expenses. Not your full lifestyle, but your core survival costs for several months. This gives you breathing room. It prevents panic decisions. It protects your investments from being liquidated at the worst possible time. Second, once that buffer exists, automate your investing. Do not wait until the end of the month to see what's left. Invest first, then spend what remains. Automation removes emotional decision-making. It turns investing from a choice into a habit. Third, increase your investment rate as your income grows. This is critical. Many people save aggressively at first but fail to scale their investing when earnings rise. Lifestyle inflation absorbs the difference. the car payment increases, the apartment upgrades, the subscription list expands, and suddenly, despite earning more, progress slows. Here's what most people misunderstand. Saving builds discipline, but investing builds wealth. Saving trains you to control spending, while investing trains you to think long-term. Both are necessary, but only one lever creates compounding. Compounding is the engine that transforms consistent contributions into substantial wealth over time. When you invest, your money earns returns. Then those returns earn returns. Over decades, that snowball effect becomes powerful, but compounding requires exposure to growth. Cash alone cannot provide that at meaningful levels over long horizons. Now let's address the emotional challenge. Investing introduces volatility. You will see fluctuations. Some years will be strong, some will be disappointing. During downturns, it may feel safer to retreat to cash. That instinct is natural, but constantly moving in and out of investments based on fear disrupts compounding. This is where emotional discipline matters most. You must separate short-term noise from long-term strategy. Your emergency fund exists so that market declines do not become personal financial emergencies. When protection and growth are clearly separated, you can stay invested with confidence. Another key difference between saving and investing is scalability. There is a limit to how much saving alone can accomplish. Your growth is capped by how much you personally earn and set aside. But investing allows your capital to participate in economic expansion. Your money works even when you are not actively working. That shift, from labor-only growth to asset-assisted growth, is what changes long-term outcomes. Here's what most people misunderstand again. Investing does not require complexity. You don't need daily trading. You don't need constant predictions. You don't need to chase trends. Long-term investing can be simple, diversified, and consistent. The power comes from time in the market, not timing the market. Now pay attention to this perspective shift. Saving protects your present. Investing builds your future. If you overemphasize saving, you may feel secure today but struggle tomorrow. If you ignore saving entirely, you may pursue growth but remain financially fragile. The real power lies in sequencing and balance. Ask yourself this question: does each dollar I earn have a clear job? Some dollars are assigned to protection, some to growth, some to lifestyle. When money has intentional roles, your financial life becomes structured instead of reactive. This is where beginners go wrong. They invest whatever is left after spending. But wealth builders reverse the order. They decide how much to invest first, automate it, and adjust spending around that commitment. That shift in order, repeated consistently over years, creates dramatically different outcomes. There is also a long-term psychological shift that happens when you move from saver to investor. As your investment accounts grow, you begin to see tangible evidence that your money is generating results. You may notice that in strong years, your portfolio grows by more than you personally contributed. That moment changes your relationship with money. It no longer feels like you are doing all the work alone. Your capital becomes a partner in your progress. Over time, something powerful happens. As your investments grow, returns begin contributing meaningfully. You may experience years where your portfolio growth equals or exceeds your annual contributions. That momentum reinforces discipline. It makes investing feel less like sacrifice and more like leverage. And once that mindset locks in, financial decisions become clearer. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "What is this costing my future growth?" So let's recap clearly and calmly. Saving preserves capital and provides stability. Investing grows capital and builds long-term freedom. Confusing the two leads to imbalance. The decision that changes everything is understanding when to shift from protection to growth, and having the discipline to maintain both in the right proportions. If this helped you rethink your strategy, like the video, subscribe for more structured and system-focused financial education, and comment below whether you need to adjust your balance between saving and investing. And if you want to understand how early investing momentum transforms your future, watch the video called "Why the First $100,000 is the Hardest, but Most Important." Because once compounding starts working for you, everything feels different.